This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day. Carefully crafted for you by humans, so meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the First 100 podcast. This is where we explore the journey of entrepreneurs, business owners, agency leaders, and so many more people as they share with us the strategies, the challenges, and the triumphs that have led them to secure those first 100 customers. I'm very excited because today we have a very special guest, Leigh Padgett. Hi, Leigh. How are you today?
Great. How are you? This is so cool.
This is really cool. I'm very excited to have you. I'm actually a really big fan of your business, so this is huge for me.
You.
For anybody that doesn't know who you are, that doesn't know about Busted Bra Shop, I'm going to give you a little bit of space just to tell us about you and what you do. So,
Okay.
floor is yours.
Thank you. So I'm the CEO and founder of Busted Bra Shop. My name is Leigh Padgett. I'm an old chick who lives in Detroit. I'm a disabled veteran. I served in the United States Navy, loved every second of it, but realized that even in that space, women were having a very difficult time finding a place to get great support for their bras. We moved to Detroit in the early 2000s, and I had a coffee shop there. And this lady came in and she was asking me for a bread tie. Turns out she was a judge. Her last bra had broken, and that planted a seed in my head that women in Detroit did not have a place to buy a bra. So that's where it started. We opened in 2013 with like $12,000 in our pocket to buy bras and a card table, old cardboard boxes I covered with pleather to make them look like counters. And we started selling bras. And now we have 6 stores, one on a military base in Kentucky. It's in Fort Campbell. About to open up another one over in Washington, in the Washington area. It's called Fort Belvoir, and we will be serving veterans there as well as in our civilian stores in Chicago, Detroit, Ann Arbor. That's us.
Amazing. Yeah, you answered my first question, which was how did the idea come about? Very interesting story. I actually wanted to ask you about the name Busted Bra Shop. Where did that come from, or how did you decide to pick that name specifically?
So I have one of those really kooky imaginations that people have to, or they feel like they need to tamp down all the time. And one morning, it was like 2:30 in the morning, I woke up, I shook my husband and said, I got it. It's called Busted. We're opening a bra shop called Busted. And I don't know where it really came from, except from the deep, dark suppressions of my head somewhere.
That's great. No, yeah. So I also wanted to know, the bras that you sell, what gap specifically did you see in the market that you were trying to fill, or that you were trying to fill with your business? I know you felt like women in Detroit didn't have bras, but obviously there were other bra shops. What do you think? Did you feel other bras were lacking?
There were no other bra shops here.
Really?
In the entire city? No. There wasn't. I mean, you have to imagine this was 2006, 2005. And when we came back in 2011, we opened up the store in 13. There were no bra stores then. There's no mall here.
So what did people do before then to buy bras?
Isn't that interesting? That's the difficult part. You asked what pain I was feeling, basically. That's it. Online wasn't a real big thing back in the aughts. I mean, it was a little bit, but not really. So that was the problem that I was getting from this judge and from the other women that I'm talking to in the city. What do you guys do to get a bra, especially if you're over a D cup? You have to wear a bra. Imagine going to work without a bra and you work in a bank. You're going to get fired. So they were driving 45 minutes to an hour out into the burbs to be told that they don't have a bra their size, or they can only get beige, because beige is what sells. And these are highly fashionable Detroiters. So they were traveling to other cities. They were begging, their friends and family to find them stuff. They're cataloging. They were doing all kinds of weird stuff. But, that was the real problem, is you're talking to people who may have multiple jobs, may have a job and kids, may just not have a car. Where do they go? So that's the gap that I was filling. Even there's no mall here. There's no shopping is getting better, so much better. But we don't need a high-end store. We need a regular store to go buy shoes. Yeah, we need regular stores to do that stuff. So that's where Busted comes in. We had, right now we have one store in the city of Detroit. We were downtown, but another larger type of store moved in. So we ended up having to leave that pop-up shop. So we're still fighting to have a real good place and foothold in the market, because I'm really little. I'm really just a middle-class chick, right? So we're still fighting. It sounds really cool. We've got 6 stores. We've got thousands and thousands of customers that we deal with. Yearly, we take care of about 20,000 people. But we should be at 40 and 50,000 people.
That's amazing. I can't imagine not having bras just like anywhere available for you. I mean, I feel like even nowadays, at least, even in like the smallest towns, they'll have some form of like sports bra in like a dollar store or something for you to like buy as an emergency. So I can't imagine like how difficult it must have been to not have any resource, like anything close by to purchase like a good bra, because I also feel like buying bad bras can only carry you to one point, right?
And that's a sizing thing too. When we first opened, we had a lady come in the store, and you need to tell me right now if I can cuss on this podcast or not.
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
I was a sailor and still am. So this lady comes in the store, we measure her, we fit her, we find her some amazing bras, we get her some good options. Now we hadn't been open that long, but our bras at the time ranged from $40 to $70. And that was, unfortunately for this young lady, this was a little bit much. After this encounter, we implemented where you can buy a little bit at a time and then take it out. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. So she calls back, she leaves, she calls back, and she's mad. She says, "You bitches, I'm at the dollar store and you can't get a 36J here." Well, no, you can't. You can't get a 36J there. If you've got any kind of weight on your chest, any kind of size of cup, over the D, which isn't a very big boob. People think a D and a double D is huge, and it's just because you've been lied to. That you're not going to find it at the dollar store. You're going to find very little. And I can tell you, I can give you a little bit of information on bras just for a second. Follow me here. The band of the bra is the inches, right? The number that you hear. I'll grab one. We happen to be in my little workspace. So this is the band part. This goes around your body. When we measure you, we're measuring you, say we measure you at 32. You're going to wear a 34 cup, a 34 band. And you're just going to add 2 inches because you have to be able to hook it, right? So that's what this is. The cup is the difference between the band measurement and the boob measurement. For example, underneath is your band, and then you measure the breast tissue itself, and you subtract that, you get a difference. 1 inch is an A cup between 2 boobs. 2 inches is a B cup. 3 inches is a C. 4 inches is a D cup. That's only 4 inches of tissue between 2 boobs, right? So now you can see where a D cup is not very big, but a D cup for a 30 band and a 32 band and a 36 band is 4 inches different from the rib cage. So that D cup in each band has a different volume that can be held in this cup.
I guess when we think of D cups and like anything above a D, you were thinking like a really big bra size. You know,
You're
like
not.
that's what we've been told. Yeah, and 4 inches doesn't sound like that much anyways.
No, it's not that much. That's why we go all the way to an S cup now. We've expanded throughout the years, and we've found wonderful manufacturers all around the world to get us the cup volume that we need. And it's not people come in, oh, boobs are getting bigger. They're not getting bigger. We're just not lying to people anymore. And we're finding cups that actually fit to help relieve the pressure off of your back, to help your posture, to get your breast sitting up off of skin to skin. So I go really down a rabbit hole when I start talking about cup volume, because we have over 200 sizes. Most stores, most national brands have 66 sizes. That's it.
I think it's very, like, I admire the inclusiveness. I think in the past, and especially with clothing, we've seen a lack of inclusiveness in a lot of different types of things. Like, those one size fits all dresses and shirts, they're not one size fits all, because it's impossible to have like a shirt that's going to fit everybody with, all of these different kinds of body shapes and things like breasts that vary a lot, and they change the way that you're going to purchase clothing, right? If you have a bigger chest than if you have a smaller chest.
And thank God we're all unique.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we all have something that makes us different. And it might be your boobs. It might be your height. It could be whatever. But that does make things fit differently. And yes, we've been inclusive since the beginning. We didn't just jump on some kind of bandwagon. Oh my God, now we get to be exclusive. No, we have been inclusive since the beginning, not just with size, but also with color choices. A lot of times you would come to my store and it's more fashion forward than it is basic. And that may seem a little crazy to some people, but that's what my customers wanted. And so that's what we delivered.
That's amazing. And actually, well, this is called First 100. So I wanted to ask you about how it was at the early stages of this when, back in 2013, you're getting started, you're setting this whole thing up. How did you actually start to get clients and customers and people purchasing? I talk to a lot of business owners who always tell me that step is always the hardest one, which is actually starting to get people to purchase your product or your service and then recommend it and then sort of get the ball rolling.
So it was fun getting their first 100. Honestly, I was in what's called a business incubator in the city, and it's called Hatch Detroit, because you're hatching an idea. And so you can enter into this contest with your idea. You don't necessarily have to be a prototype or branding or anything, just an idea. And take that to these judges who are supposed to be experts in entrepreneurship. I say, this is my idea for the city. I would like to be in the contest. Well, out of 300 entries, I made it into the top 10, but I didn't make it into the top 4. In that whole process, you're going out and asking for votes. So we're on street corners. We're the social media was really getting going and getting started. And I was doing as many videos as I could and putting it out on my Facebook page, begging and pleading friends. So once we lost, that pressure was off, but I lost my job because my boss was like, oh, so you want to open a bra shop? Yes. And I ended up telling my husband, we're going to have to figure this out because I've said I'm doing it. So I have to do it. Where we were living, I went to the landlord. We were in an apartment building in Midtown Detroit. And I said, do you have any kind of business suite that I could rent down here? Because he had a bunch of offices and stuff. I said, well, there's this little 200 square foot space. There's no windows. You're not going to want it. I'm like, I'll take it. That was like $150 a month or something crazy. Took a card table. I started calling vendors going, hi, I'm opening this bra store up. We got our name, our LLC, because one of my friends is a lawyer and she's like, I'll help you. Now she's one of my business partners. And we got 2 different vendors to say yes. 2 vendors started sending me bras and panties. And I borrowed money from friends. So 12 grand, like I said earlier, we bought as many bras as they would let me have. And we started taking appointments. And one after another, people started walking out of that office with pink bags, just selling a bra, buying 2 more, selling a bra, buying 2 more. And we made people happy and they talked about it. But remember, we're a unicorn at this point in the city. So women are talking to women. Hey, there's a place you could buy a bra. Hey, she has something that's pretty. I had gorgeous things. So the landlord, he was so nice, and he no longer owns this building. But he said, hi, I've got a storage unit in the back of this space that used to be a hair salon. So it's got these rooms that could be your dressing rooms. I'll do the construction. Let's get people over there. He had women in his family who wanted to shop with me but didn't want to come into my little office. So he did all the hard work, moved me in a month later, and I had 1,400 square feet. So we started inviting more people, have private parties. So you would come into the store, you'd love what we do. I'm going to say, bring 8 of your friends. I'm going to give you gifts and drinks and treats, and you can bring your kids because we have enough space for them to just play. And that's what we did. And all of a sudden, in the first year, we hadn't just seen 100 people. We had seen several thousand people. It was phenomenal how much word of mouth is, how important it is. And then just getting on Facebook, the very, very beginning, and saying, hey, we're here. Look at what we've got. And we had fun.
That's amazing.
So that was really the first 100 was word of mouth and me tap dancing on corners.
That's incredible. I mean, I think the fact that you had a landlord that was also willing to sort of help you expand is huge. Because most landlords usually don't like it when people touch their space. They're not going to sort of help you with that. So I think that's like, to me, that was like the biggest thing that stuck out. You know, it was like someone actually getting there and helping you set up a place to actually have people try clothes on and stuff like that. I think when you're buying bras, that's like a huge thing too, like trying it on first.
Oh, yeah. It's massive. Once you try it on, it's easier to buy online. We have that.
Yeah.
That happens a lot. In 2020, we turned on our website because people couldn't come in anymore. And our customers from really all over the country started just ordering them online because they already knew what fit. So that is a little difficult in what I do, is that you need to touch it, feel it, try it on, love it. But if you can get to a bra boutique, I highly recommend it. Any bra boutique. They're going to measure you. They're going to fit you. And there's only about 250 private bra boutiques, specialty bra boutiques around the country that do what I do. So,
wow.
And yeah, about 250, maybe 300, but the ones that come to the different conventions where we're all learning and continuing to bring our employees, there's about 250.
That's a small group. I would think there's more. I mean, the country's also so big. You would imagine that there's like a bigger amount of like boutiques that, you know, give like a catering towards bras and sizing and stuff like that. And like you said, I definitely think that knowing your size is going to help you if you're going to do online shopping, because if not, you're kind of just shopping blindly and hoping that this is going to fit.
Right. Yeah. And returning things is complicated when it comes to shipping.
Yeah. Actually, I also wanted to know, since you also talked about providing so many inclusive sizes, how complex, or can you tell me like how difficult or easy maybe it was to source and provide all of these inclusive products? Because I feel like you can have that desire, but I think when you're actually implementing, maybe it's, I mean, I don't know. I wonder. I imagine it might be difficult to find vendors and provide like, you know, like actual people that can have that kind of inclusive sizing unless you are doing the production yourself.
Right. And doing the production myself. I'm not a bra designer, so I would love
really
to.
Complicated.
I would love to. And I do work with factories that will self-label stuff for me. So that is the future. Finding them, I found a lot of them because I had worked in a bra shop in North Carolina at one point. And that was on purpose. I did that so that I would learn the business. And then when I moved to Detroit, I started calling them. Now, they didn't want to talk to me because I didn't have a bra store. I didn't have an actual open store yet. So getting the two that did let me buy from them was groundbreaking for me. So then I find this convention in New York that I go to a couple times a year called Curve. And that is where the specialty bra boutiques go and find and source their bras from around the world. There's also one in Paris, and I will frequently get invited to come to Paris, mostly so that I go and get a lot of work for social media, because I can see the same people in New York, or I get to go to the factories, which is way cool. Just being able to see where things are made and to talk to the designers and influence them in some form or fashion to get them to make even more volume in their cups. Great. So going to Curve up in New York is awesome. And then the suppliers, the vendors will come to you. Once you start opening up your doors, they're going to start knocking on your doors, especially if you are someone that is really passionate about their type of product. I hope that answered your question.
Obviously, like suppliers are also trying to get customers. I was just curious because I feel like I interview a lot of sort of e-commerce and B2B businesses, stuff like that. And they've always told me that if they're not producing a lot of products themselves, a huge problem that a lot of businesses face is finding vendors and finding people that can provide a certain product that they're trying to sell. I had this one person who told me that he had to like basically talk to this like his vendor and convince him to expand to making this like specific thing that he wanted to sell because he thought it was going to be really big, but it was like a whole process of having to talk to like do it. So I was just curious if you had that same problem or, you know, like where you came from, like, because I do feel like, especially like back in the day, I think nowadays it's probably easier, but back in the day, I mean, inclusive bra shopping was a lot harder. So I imagine it was harder then than it is probably now.
So I can tell you that I stumbled upon Polish bras in the very beginning. And the Polish bras were made with a nice full cup volume and smaller bands. So I got an email from this lady and she said, hey, I'm in South Africa and I get my stuff made in Poland. I'll send it to you. And she sent me some and I loved it. And so we started selling her products in the sizes that we couldn't find. And then that opened up a whole new category and finding the Polish bras that service us. So we've just in the last year found that cup that goes beyond an O cup, beyond a P cup. It goes all the way to the S cup. And that's with a Polish brand. They didn't normally offer the band sizes that I also wanted in that cup size. So talking to them, they are willing to make them for us now. And that's just happened. But a lot of times it's just talking and saying, can you expand a little bit? Can you expand a little bit? If you ask them to expand, or if I asked a company to expand 10 cup sizes, that's outside of their range. So earlier in the podcast, we talked about the ratio. So really going one more cup size up in a band is not quite as difficult. So yeah, sometimes it's just talking. But there's a company called Alomi. Alomi their designers are amazing. And they're beautiful, beautiful items. Now that I'm established, now that we've been there 11 years and we have a proven track record of finding new customers and being able to continually getting those bras on people, now they call me and listen to me and ask what my opinion. So we asked for thongs for people who are over an XL. Where are the thongs? There's only a couple of companies that make thongs or G-strings that go up to a 4X. Now you can find different collections with many options, not just Brazilians, but thongs and G-strings. And they're putting them on the runway, which is fabulous to see those things move because it just shows you how comfortable they can be for your clients and gorgeous. But they also said, what do you need? And I said, I need a bigger cup size in a couple of different bands. I got a little bit of pushback where they were said, prove it. I said, okay, let me get you in touch with some of my customers and my employees. I have a particular employee who is a 36 double K plus plus. She's not a double K anymore. It's a little bit more. And so they started sending her prototypes, and they brought her up to New York, and she met the designers from England. And now they have a bra that's going to be coming out called the Jada. After Jada.
Good story. Wow. I mean, amazing for Jada too. It's like, imagine like she had such a hard time finding bras before, and now she has one made for her.
Made just for her. Every once in a while, we would get something that would really be spot on. And the Polish bras worked for her great. But yeah, to have something that's made just for her body type, and also gives her the style that she was really looking for. And they asked her, what is your opinion? How comfortable is this? Can you wear it for 3 months? And she's pretty special, and she's one of our best bra fitters.
That's actually very interesting that you said that, and I might go on a tangent. But I just reminded me because my sister is bigger than me. I'm pretty skinny, but she's like, I'd say she's just chubbier, and she has shared with me a lot of the problems that she has with finding specifically underwear and like with clothing in general, because she says she's like, I feel like plus size clothing is not stylish, and like plus size bras are like for grandmas, and like she's 24, like she doesn't want to be looking like she's 65, but she like will go shopping to a normal store, like if she goes to like a Macy's or something, and she hardly finds things that are flattering or good, or like, she tells me like I sometimes have to think more about the fact that it fits me over the fact of whether I like it or not, because I don't have the option to choose whatever I can from. And I think that's that's why I think what you're doing is very important.
Well, thank you. And she's our perfect candidate. Happy bodies and happy bodies make you feel better and more confident through the day. I am not considered a plus size person, but my butt is, and my hips are. I'm only a size 10, but in the underwear industry, I'm an extra large. And so when you get into that 12, 14, 16, 18 sizing, where do you go if a size 10 is an extra large, which drives me crazy. So we have actually up to a 10X in panties that match bras. So getting a matching set for a lot of our clients is something that they struggle with. And when we find them something wonderful, just tears in the dressing room. And it's one of the most wonderful things to be able to make people happy. And it's not something that you should expect. You should expect to be able to find something.
Yeah.
It just, I wish I could open up 1,000 of these things across the country. So hopefully your sister is somewhere near one of our locations, because we can surprise and delight her like nobody's business.
I'll ask her. I live overseas, so no, but if we ever visit America, I will definitely tell her so that we can go. I think she would.
So
really
after this is over, tell me where you are, and I will send you to a bra store or to a collection where you are, because I know bra stores all over the world.
Amazing. Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you so much, Leigh. Before I let you go, I do have a game prepared for you.
Oh God, okay.
So these are not questions about bras. These are not questions about businesses or marketing. This is just for fun. We're going to do a rapid fire. I'm setting up a timer on my phone. And we're going to see how many questions we can get through in 1 minute. It's 20 questions. And just tell me the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
I'm trying to see which guests can actually get through the 20 questions. So far, the answer to that is nobody. I think the longest we've gotten has been 13. So let's see how you do.
This is not going to be great. Okay.
The questions are really funny. So not funny. It was just like they're basic questions. So don't worry too much. I'm going to start.
Mine. Okay.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
Both.
Favorite social media platform?
Instagram.
Go-to karaoke song?
Oh my God, crazy. By Patsy Cline.
Books or podcasts?
Podcasts.
One word that describes you.
Pink.
Dream vacation destination.
Germany.
Most used app on your phone.
Instagram.
Favorite emoji.
Happy.
What's your hidden talent?
I sing a lot, actually, all the time. And whistle like a son of a bitch.
Go-to comfort food.
Apples.
Superpower you'd want to have for a day.
Being able to lift anything I wanted.
Oh, it's time. So we got through 12 questions. Not bad. That was actually pretty good. Everybody in the karaoke question. I should probably remove that.
Oh, it's good.
Because nobody knows what to say. Like, everyone's like, I don't know. But you did great. You got like the second best one, because the best one was 13. So you did great.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So, Leigh, before we finish the podcast, I also wanted to give you the space for anybody watching and listening that is in Detroit or in any of the areas where your bra shop is, or if they want to shop online for it. If you want to plug anything, if you're looking for employees and maybe you want to like ask for people to send their resumes, the floor is yours for whatever it is that you want to tell people.
Well, I will tell you that we do help people fit virtually, so don't be afraid to give us a call. But I will also say that I'm writing an ebook on how to buy lingerie for your lover, because we have so many people that come in and they're uncomfortable finding something for their lover. So I'm trying to give a guide on how to not be creepy, and how to make it really easy and delightful for them. So watch for that. We are doing as much long content as we can so that people can learn about our industry. But go to a bra shop anywhere in your vicinity. Take care of your boobs. They're important. And they have a life all of their own that we need to respect and take care of.
Amazing. Yes. Thank you so much for doing this, Leigh. I will be adding the links to your website and social media so that anybody that is interested, that is watching, can go watch, like click on it on the description of this video. Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you so much, Leigh, and everybody. I will see you on the next episode.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest, and to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend, and of course, subscribe.